Now, let's turn to the latest on Russia's war in Ukraine. Ukrainian forces are fortifying one of the country's last remaining strongholds in the east and urging civilians to flee while they can. These are brand new pictures coming into us from the Donetsk region. Ukrainian soldiers there are trying to head off Russian forces by setting up roadblocks outside the city of Bakhmut. Now, families there are being fractured by all the violence. Some members are leaving everything behind while others are staying to fight. A mandatory evacuation order is in place for the Donetsk region, though people can opt out by formally declaring their intention to stay. We are also tracking new developments near the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. Heavy fighting near that site is heightening concerns about a potential disaster. But after pleading by diplomats and officials, Russia now says it will allow independent inspectors to visit the plant. Journalist Sergio Olmos is near the plant, and he's been covering this story for us. What do we know about this deal, Sergio?
Well, it's remarkable. President Vladimir Putin of Russia agreeing to allow inspectors into the plant. This took place in a phone call yesterday with Emmanuel Macron of France, not even insisting that the inspectors go through Russia, which was thought to be one of the conditions he would seek. The inspectors would be allowed to go through Ukraine. This is something that Antonio Guterres from the United Nations has been calling for. The U.S., the EU, and of course President Volodymyr Zelensky asking for inspectors to be allowed in that plant to inspect if there's any damage, to inspect the accusation that Russians are storing heavy weapons in there. And we also know that Ukraine has been asking for that area to be demilitarized, along with the US, the EU, and the UN. Russia has so far rejected those appeals.
What's it been like on the ground? Have the people been evacuating from around the plant?
Well, I'm here at an evacuation point for evacuees to receive humanitarian aid. This is the first place they enter when they enter Ukrainian territory, the first stop rather. And there are people here from Kherson, from Melitopol, but there are also people here from Endohadar. This is the city just across the Dnieper River where the nuclear power plant is located. I spoke to some residents who fled that area just arriving today, who described real hellish conditions. They say that there is constant fear in that city, that the internet has been knocked out, and that you can't just use your Ukrainian cell provider anymore. You have to use a Russian one, and even the public Wi-Fi is Russian installed Wi-Fi, and there's a fear that they can monitor anything. I mean, people wouldn't, on their phones, they cleaned them out so that at checkpoints there'd be nothing on there. I also heard of people talking about the shelling. I kept asking multiple families, who is shelling the plant? What are you hearing? They say outgoing and incoming fire is just 3 seconds apart. They think it's quite clear that Russia is shelling the plant. It's just seconds apart, and they say that there is just a kind of lawlessness there. The Russian soldiers are taking civilian cars and kind of joyriding and putting just everyday people in fear, which is why some of them have come here. I also heard of a mother show a message on a phone from local officials that said those kids must go to the Russian school, and if they didn't, there would be consequences, potentially removing the kids from the parents. And she said she had to leave at that point, so she's come now into Ukrainian-held territory here in Zaporizhzhia. So just real hellish conditions about what we're hearing in Russian territory.
Sergio, and as you're speaking with us, we can see those families, those children playing in the background, and all around them is war. Just really great work. Sergio Olmos reporting from Ukraine. Thank you.